Welcome to tonight's ADHD sleep story, The Baobab Dream Tree, Ancient African Sleep Sanctuary. I know your mind might be racing right now, jumping from thought to thought, maybe replaying the day or worrying about tomorrow. That's completely normal for your ADHD brain. And tonight, we're going to gently guide those thoughts toward rest. Find your most comfortable position. There's no right or wrong way to lie down. If you need to adjust your pillows, move around, or even listen while sitting up, that's perfectly fine. Your ADHD brain needs what it needs, and we honor that here. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Don't worry if your mind wanders during this story. That's what ADHD minds do, and it's okay. When you notice your thoughts drifting, just gently guide your attention back to my voice, like a kind friend taking your hand. Tonight's journey takes us to a magical baobab tree with ancient healing powers, a place specifically designed for minds like yours. Minds that think quickly, feel deeply, and sometimes need extra support finding peace. This is your safe space, created just for you. Let's begin by acknowledging any tension you might be holding. Your shoulders might be tight from the day's responsibilities. Your jaw might be clenched from concentrating or masking your ADHD traits. Your legs might be restless, wanting to move. All of this is welcome here. We're not trying to stop your thoughts or force stillness. Instead, we're creating a gentle river for your thoughts to flow into, carrying you naturally toward sleep. Your ADHD brain is beautiful, creative, and deserving of rest. As you settle deeper into comfort, imagine yourself approaching a magical baobab tree sanctuary on a calm evening. The sky above is painted in soft purples and deep blues, the kind of twilight that makes everything feel possible and peaceful. This isn't a place where you need to perform or prove anything. There are no deadlines here, no expectations, no need to focus in ways that don't come naturally to you. This is a place where your ADHD mind can simply be. The air here moves differently than in the busy world you left behind. It carries the ancient wisdom of the African savanna, warm and gentle, scented with earthy richness and the sweet fragrance of acacia blossoms, not overwhelming, just present enough to anchor your senses. Your nervous system begins to recognize this as a place of safety. As you walk along the soft, earthen path leading to the baobab tree sanctuary, notice how your feet sink slightly into the red clay soil with each step. The surface beneath you is perfectly supportive, like walking on nature's own memory foam that molds to your exact needs. With each step, you're leaving behind the day's challenges, the moments when you lost your keys, forgot that important task, or felt different from others around you. Here, in this ancient sanctuary, your differences aren't problems to be solved. Your quick thinking mind, your ability to see connections others miss, your deep empathy and creativity, these are gifts that make you who you are. Tonight, these same qualities will help carry you into peaceful sleep. The light here is soft and golden, filtered through the massive canopy of the great baobab tree that rises before you. Never harsh or overwhelming, it's the kind of light that makes everything look beautiful and calm. Fireflies begin to dance in the distance, their gentle glow creating a natural constellation that doesn't disturb, but holds you safely in this peaceful space. You notice that time moves differently here, following the ancient rhythms of the earth rather than the frantic pace of modern life. There's no rush, no pressing forward, No anxiety about being late or behind. Your internal clock, which sometimes feels so out of sync with the world's expectations, finds its natural rhythm here. Fast when you need to process, slow when you need to rest. The sounds around you are specifically chosen for minds like yours. No sudden noises or jarring interruptions. Instead, there's a gentle symphony, the whisper of wind through ancient leaves, the distant call of night birds settling into their roosts, the soft rustle of grass swaying in harmony. These sounds create a consistent, soothing backdrop that your ADHD brain can trust. Your body begins to mirror the calmness of this ancient place. Your breathing naturally slows without any effort from you. Your muscles release tension they've been holding, perhaps since childhood when you first learned you were different. Here, different means connected to ancient wisdom, blessed with unique gifts, worthy of love and rest. In this peaceful sanctuary, you encounter Kessie, someone who understands exactly what it's like to live with an ADHD mind. Kessie has the same kind of beautiful, busy brain that you do, one that thinks in pictures and connections, that feels everything deeply, that sometimes struggles with the world's expectations, but creates magic in unexpected ways. Kessie emerges from the base of the great Baobab tree, their movements flowing like water, their presence radiating the kind of calm that comes from deep connection to nature's rhythms. They greet you with the warmest smile, the kind that reaches their eyes and says, I see you, I understand you, and you belong here. There's no judgment in their presence, no need to explain or apologize for who you are. They simply accept your ADHD mind as the wonderful, complex gift it is. I'm so glad the ancient paths led you here tonight. Kessie says, their voice carrying the same gentle tone as mine, with undertones that seem to resonate from the earth itself. I know how hard it can be sometimes, when your mind wants to think about 17 different things all at once, especially when you're trying to sleep. That's why this Baobab sanctuary exists. It has been waiting for minds like yours for thousands of years. Kessie tells you about their own journey with ADHD, the late nights when thoughts raced like gazelles across the savannah, the anxiety about forgetting something important, the way their creative mind would spark with ideas just as their head hit the pillow. They understand the unique challenges of trying to quiet a mind that's wired to be active and engaged. The secret, Kessie shares, placing a gentle hand over their heart, isn't to fight your ADHD brain or try to make it work like everyone else's. The secret is to work with it, to honor how it operates, and to connect it to the ancient wisdom that flows through this sacred tree. Your mind is not broken. It's connected to something very old and very wise. Kessie extends their hand to you, and when you take it, you feel an immediate sense of calm and understanding. Their touch carries the warmth of sun-baked earth and the coolness of shade. No electricity or overstimulation, just pure, peaceful support. It's like holding hands with someone who truly gets what it's like to be you. The Baobab tree has been calling to minds like ours for generations, Kessie explains. Are you ready to discover what ancient rest can feel like for an ADHD brain? And something deep inside you whispers, yes, I'm ready. Kessie leads you closer to the magnificent Baobab tree, and you begin to notice the incredible details that make this sanctuary perfect for minds like yours. Everything here has been shaped by thousands of years of natural wisdom. Not too much stimulation, but enough interesting elements to keep your mind gently engaged rather than racing toward anxiety. The great Baobab tree towers above you, its massive trunk so wide that 20 people holding hands could encircle it. The bark is smooth and silver gray, marked with natural patterns that seem to tell ancient stories. Your ADHD brain finds these patterns fascinating, but not overwhelming, like looking at clouds that shift and change, always revealing new shapes and meanings. Around the base of the tree, the ground forms natural terraces of soft earth, creating comfortable spaces at different levels, some higher for those who need to feel elevated and safe, others lower for those who want to feel grounded and held by the earth. Your ADHD brain appreciates having choices, having options that honor different needs and moods. The roots of the baobab tree extend far from its base, creating natural benches and resting places. These roots are smooth from centuries of wind and weather, worn into perfect shapes for sitting or lying. They radiate the warmth they've absorbed from the day's sun, providing gentle heat as the evening cools. As you walk among these root formations with Casey, you notice plants growing in the tree's protection. These aren't overwhelming, busy gardens with too many colors and textures competing for attention. Instead, they're native African plants that have learned to thrive in harmony. Desert roses with their sculptural beauty, aloe plants with their healing presence, and clusters of wild herbs that release calming scents when the evening breeze stirs their leaves. Your ADHD brain, which sometimes gets overwhelmed by too much sensory input, finds this natural garden perfectly balanced, interesting enough to keep the anxious part of your mind occupied, but calm enough to encourage relaxation. The colors are all from the earth's natural palette: soft grays and browns of the tree bark, gentle greens of the hardy plants, warm golds and oranges reflected in the soil. Cassie notices you admiring the natural harmony and smiles. The baobab doesn't fight with its environment, they explain. It works with the land, provides for other plants and animals, stores water for dry seasons. It teaches us how our busy minds can work with our need for rest instead of fighting against it. Above you, the baobab's enormous canopy spreads like a natural cathedral. The leaves are small and delicate, creating a lacework pattern against the darkening sky. Through this natural filter, stars begin to appear one by one, not overwhelming you with their sudden brightness, but gently revealing themselves as your eyes adjust to the peaceful darkness. The trunk of the tree shows its age in the most beautiful way. Deep furrows and gentle curves tell stories of seasons survived, storms weathered, centuries of growth and adaptation. Looking at these patterns, you feel connected to something much larger than your daily worries, your forgotten tasks, your racing thoughts. This tree has witnessed countless sunrises and sunsets, and it radiates the deep calm that comes from that perspective. Kessie guides you to a perfect resting spot between two massive roots, where the ground is carpeted with soft grass and fallen leaves that have been naturally arranged into the most comfortable cushioning. This is where many people with ADHD minds find their deepest rest, they tell you. The tree's ancient energy helps busy brains remember their natural rhythm. As you settle into this perfect spot, you notice how your body responds differently here than it does in the regular world. Your muscles, which often hold tension from trying to focus or sit still or meet expectations that don't fit your ADHD brain, begin to naturally release. The solid presence of the tree trunk behind you provides support without confinement. Your breathing, without any effort from you, starts to match the gentle rhythm of the tree's own life force. In and out, in and out, like the tree drawing water from deep roots and releasing oxygen to the world. Your ADHD brain doesn't have to work to create this rhythm. It's provided by the ancient wisdom surrounding you. The temperature here is exactly what your body needs. The massive trunk blocks any harsh winds while allowing gentle breezes to flow through. The earth beneath you holds the day's warmth, while the canopy above provides cooling shade. It's the perfect temperature for deep, restorative sleep. Kessie settles nearby, their presence providing comfort without being intrusive. Feel how different your mind is here, they suggest gently. Notice how the thoughts that usually race and jump and worry are beginning to slow down, like a river that's been rushing finally reaching a peaceful lake. And you do notice your ADHD mind, which usually feels like it's running on too fast a setting, begins to synchronize with the tree's ancient, steady rhythm. Let's begin with something that will help your beautiful, busy brain feel truly safe, Casey says, their voice blending with the gentle sounds of the evening. The baobab tree has a special gift for minds like ours. It can help us transform our racing thoughts into something peaceful and healing. Cassie places their hand gently on the tree's massive trunk and invites you to do the same. As your palm connects with the ancient bark, you feel something remarkable happening. The bark is warm from the day's sun, textured but not rough, alive with a slow, steady pulse that seems to come from deep within the earth itself. This tree has been absorbing the energy of racing thoughts for thousands of years. Casey explains softly. Worried minds, creative minds, minds that think differently, they've all found rest here. The tree takes those busy thoughts and transforms them into wisdom, into strength, into deep roots that anchor us to the earth. Close your eyes and feel the connection between your palm and the tree. With each breath, imagine your racing thoughts, the ones about tomorrow's responsibilities, the forgotten items from today, the endless to-do lists that cycle through your mind. Imagine them flowing from your hand into the tree. You don't have to fight these thoughts or push them away. That never works for ADHD minds anyway. Instead, simply let them flow like water into the vast storage capacity of the baobab. This tree has hollow spaces in its trunk that can hold thousands of gallons of water. It can certainly hold your thoughts until you're ready to rest. Feel how the tree accepts every thought without judgment. The worry about whether you remembered to lock the door, the tree takes it. The replay of that awkward conversation from earlier, the tree absorbs it. The creative ideas that always seem to spark just at bedtime, the tree stores them safely for tomorrow. Your thoughts aren't disappearing, Cassie reassures you. They're being held safely by something much larger and older than your anxiety. The baobab will keep them safe while you sleep, and in the morning, you'll find that many of the problems that seemed so urgent tonight have been touched by the tree's ancient wisdom. As you continue to rest your hand against the trunk, notice how your body begins to mirror the tree's stillness. Baobab trees are known for their incredible stability. They can live for over 1,000 years, weathering droughts and storms because of their deep root systems and their ability to store what they need. Feel your own energy beginning to stabilize like the trees. Your heartbeat, which might have been quick with the day's stress, begins to slow to match the tree's ancient rhythm. Your breathing deepens naturally, drawing in the calm, healing air that surrounds this sacred space. The tree's energy flows up through your arm and into your entire body. It's not stimulating or activating, it's deeply grounding, like roots growing from your feet into the earth, connecting you to something stable and permanent. Your ADHD mind, which often feels scattered or fragmented, begins to feel held together by this ancient strength. Casey's voice continues to guide you. Notice how good it feels to let something else hold the weight of your thoughts for a while. Your mind works so hard every day, processing so much information, trying to keep track of so many details. Tonight, the Baobab takes that load from you. As you breathe, imagine that with each exhale, you're releasing more mental tension into the tree. With each inhale, you're drawing in the tree's calm, steady energy. This isn't about emptying your mind. That's often impossible for ADHD brains. This is about sharing the load with something infinitely patient and wise. Your hand remains connected to the tree, but now that connection feels effortless, natural, like you were always meant to be here, receiving this ancient support. Now that your thoughts are safely held by the Baobab, Casey continues, let's help your body discover the deep rest that's possible when your mind isn't carrying everything alone. Casey guides you to settle more comfortably between the massive roots, arranging soft woven blankets made from natural fibers around you. These blankets carry the scent of the savanna, clean earth, dried grasses, and the faintest hint of the tree's own ancient fragrance. The weight of the blankets is perfect for your ADHD nervous system, not too heavy to feel restrictive, but substantial enough to provide the deep pressure that helps busy minds calm down. The Baobab teaches us about the power of being deeply rooted while reaching toward the sky. Casey explains, your ADHD mind is like the tree's branches, always reaching, always growing, always exploring new possibilities. But tonight, we're going to help you remember your roots, the part of you that's connected to the earth's steady rhythm. Starting with your feet, begin to imagine roots growing from your body into the warm earth beneath the tree. Not literal roots, but energetic connections that anchor you to the stability and peace of this ancient place. Feel these imaginary roots extending down through the layers of soil, connecting you to the tree's own root system. Your ADHD mind might want to analyze this process or question whether it's working. That's okay. Let those analytical thoughts flow into the tree as well. The baobab has seen countless minds try to think their way into relaxation, and it accepts even your need to think with infinite patience. As your imaginary roots grow deeper, feel how they begin to draw up nourishment from the earth. Not physical food, but the deep rest that comes from being connected to something larger than your daily concerns. This nourishment flows up through your legs, bringing with it a sense of stability you might not have felt in a long time. Your legs begin to feel heavy in the best possible way, not tired or weighed down, but grounded and supported. Any restlessness that often keeps your legs moving when you're trying to sleep begins to settle as this earthly energy flows through your muscles and bones. Cassie's voice continues to guide you deeper. Let this grounding energy flow up into your hips and lower back. This is where many of us carry tension from sitting too long, from trying to focus in ways that don't come naturally to our ADHD brains. Let the earth energy dissolve that tension, replacing it with the stable strength of the baobab's trunk. Feel your spine aligning naturally with the energy of the great tree, not forced or rigid, but supported like the tree's own trunk, flexible enough to move with the winds of life, but rooted enough to remain stable through any storm. Your back muscles release tension they've been holding, perhaps for years. The grounding energy continues to flow upward, reaching your chest and shoulders. This is where you might carry the weight of all the things you feel you should remember, should do better, should focus on more consistently. Let the baobab's ancient wisdom whisper to your heart, you are exactly as you should be. Your mind works beautifully, just differently. Your breathing deepens naturally as your chest releases its held tension. Each breath draws in more of the calming energy that surrounds this sacred tree. Each exhale releases more of the pressure you've been carrying to be different than you are. Your shoulders drop away from your ears as the earth energy reaches your neck and arms. The constant vigilance that ADHD minds often maintain, scanning for what might be forgotten, what might go wrong, what needs attention. This vigilance is gently held by the tree's watchful presence. Finally, feel this grounding energy flow into your head, not to stop your thoughts, but to cradle them in the same gentle strength that holds the tree's massive canopy. Your jaw unclenches, the muscles around your eyes soften, your scalp releases tension you didn't even know you were holding. You are now fully connected to the baobab's root system, Casey says softly. Your racing thoughts are held safely in its trunk. Your body is supported by its ancient strength, and your spirit is cradled in its patient wisdom. This is how rest feels for minds like ours when we stop fighting our nature and start working with it. As you rest in perfect comfort within the embrace of the ancient baobab, Cassie begins to share the deeper wisdom of this sacred place. This tree has witnessed thousands of years of human experience, they say, their voice now seeming to come from the earth itself. It has seen minds like ours throughout history, the dreamers, the visionaries, the ones who think outside the lines that others take for granted. Look up through the intricate pattern of leaves above you, where stars are now fully visible in the clear African sky. Each star pulses with its own gentle rhythm, none trying to outshine the others, all contributing to the magnificent tapestry of night. Your ADHD mind, which sometimes feels chaotic or overwhelming, is actually part of this same beautiful pattern of diversity. Long ago, Casey continues, the people who lived near this baobab understood that minds like ours were gifts to the community. The quick thinking, the deep feeling, the ones who could see connections others missed. They were the storytellers, the inventors, the healers who could think of solutions no one else imagined. Feel how this truth settles into your body like warm honey. Your ADHD brain isn't a modern problem that needs fixing. It's an ancient way of thinking that has always existed, always contributed something valuable to the human experience. The shame or frustration you might carry about your differences begins to dissolve like morning mist in the African sun. The baobab's massive presence surrounds you with acceptance. This tree doesn't judge the wind for being unpredictable or the rain for coming in sudden bursts rather than steady drizzles. It works with whatever nature brings, adapting, storing what it needs, releasing what it doesn't. It teaches your ADHD mind the same gentle acceptance of its own natural rhythms. Notice how quiet your internal critic has become. Casey observes gently, the voice that usually reminds you of what you forgot, what you should have done differently, how you don't measure up to others' expectations. That voice has been absorbed into the tree's vast patience. And it's true. The mental chatter that usually accompanies your efforts to relax has faded to a whisper, not because you fought it or pushed it away, but because the baobab's ancient wisdom has surrounded it with such compassion that it no longer needs to shout to be heard. Feel yourself sinking deeper into the natural cushioning of grass and fallen leaves. Your body has found its perfect position without any effort from your conscious mind. This is what happens when your ADHD nervous system finally feels completely safe. It stops its constant vigilance and allows itself to truly rest. The sounds of the African night create a gentle symphony around you. Night birds calling to each other in languages older than words. The whisper of wind through grass, the distant sound of water trickling through underground streams that feed the baobab's mighty roots. These sounds don't jar or startle. They weave together into a natural lullaby, composed specifically for minds that think in patterns and connections. Your ADHD brain begins to synchronize with these natural rhythms. Instead of racing ahead to tomorrow's challenges or cycling back through today's mistakes, your thoughts begin to flow like the underground streams, purposeful but unhurried, nourishing but not overwhelming. This is your natural state, Kessie whispers, not the frantic pace the world sometimes demands, not the forced focus that exhausts you, but this gentle flow of awareness that honors both your need to think and your need to rest. Feel how your energy has shifted from the scattered, electric feeling that ADHD minds often carry to something more like the baobab's steady strength, still alive, still aware, but deeply grounded in the present moment rather than scattered across time and possibility. The tree's presence becomes even more palpable around you. It's as if the baobab is breathing with you, its ancient life force matching and supporting your own rhythm. With each breath you take, you're sharing in the wisdom of something that has weathered countless storms and seasons, always returning to this same peaceful strength. You realize that you haven't thought about checking the time, or wondering what you need to do tomorrow, or replaying conversations from earlier in the day. These concerns haven't disappeared. They're still held safely in the tree's vast storage, but they no longer have any urgency or power over this moment of perfect rest. As you rest in perfect harmony with the ancient baobab, Kessie's voice guides you even deeper into relaxation. Now we're going to take a journey through your body, they say softly. But this isn't like other relaxation exercises you might have tried. This is designed specifically for ADHD minds that need gentle guidance rather than rigid control. Starting with the crown of your head, imagine the baobab's healing energy flowing down like warm, golden honey. This energy doesn't demand that you focus perfectly or follow exact instructions. Instead, it adapts to however your ADHD mind wants to receive it, sometimes flowing smoothly, sometimes moving in gentle waves, sometimes pausing to swirl around areas that need extra attention. Feel this golden energy surrounding your scalp, melting away any tension from the day's mental effort. Your ADHD brain works so much harder than others realize, constantly processing, filtering, trying to focus in ways that don't come naturally. Let the baobab's ancient wisdom acknowledge this effort and reward it with the deepest possible rest. The golden energy flows down to your forehead, where you might carry the furrow of concentration or worry. Feel those lines smoothing away as the tree's patience replaces your need to figure everything out right now. Your forehead becomes as smooth and peaceful as the baobab's weathered bark, marked by experience, but no longer tense with effort. Moving to your eyes, feel the golden energy surrounding them like the gentlest eye mask. Your eyes, which have seen so much stimulation today, which have tried to focus and track and process visual information in a world not always designed for ADHD brains, now receive the gift of complete visual rest. Even with your eyes closed, feel them settling deeper into their sockets, releasing all effort. The energy flows around your cheeks and jaw, where you might clench unconsciously when concentrating or trying to mask your ADHD traits in social situations. Feel your jaw dropping open slightly, your tongue resting peacefully in your mouth. All the words you had to choose carefully today, all the responses you had to monitor, all the social energy you expended, it's all released now into the baobab's understanding embrace. Your neck receives this golden flow next, and here the energy might pool and swirl, because this is where ADHD minds often hold so much tension. The constant vigilance, the need to turn your head quickly to catch important information, the physical strain of trying to sit still when your body wants to move. Feel all of this dissolving as the tree's energy massages every muscle and nerve in your neck. As the golden energy reaches your shoulders, it spreads wide like the baobab's massive canopy. Your shoulders have been carrying invisible weight, the weight of tasks you might forget, responsibilities that feel overwhelming, the burden of being different in a world that often misunderstands. Feel this weight being lifted by something infinitely stronger and more patient than your own efforts. The energy flows down both arms simultaneously like twin rivers of peace. Your arms, which might feel restless during the day, which might fidget or tap or gesture as your ADHD mind processes thoughts, now rest in complete stillness, not forced stillness, but the natural rest that comes when your nervous system finally feels safe enough to be completely quiet. Your hands receive special attention from the golden energy. These hands that might shake slightly when you're anxious, that might fumble with objects when your mind is elsewhere, that work so hard to keep up with your quick thoughts, they now rest as peacefully as leaves that have fallen from the baobab tree, having completed their work and earned their rest. Moving to your chest, the golden energy expands like the tree's hollow trunk, creating space for your heart and lungs to work without any effort from your conscious mind. Your ADHD heart, which might race with anxiety or excitement, now beats with the steady rhythm of the ancient tree. Your breathing deepens naturally, each breath drawing in more peace, each exhale releasing more of the day's accumulated stress. The energy flows into your core, your stomach and lower back, areas where ADHD minds often hold digestive tension from stress or medication effects. Feel this golden warmth, soothing any discomfort, any tightness, any residual anxiety that might have settled in your belly. Your entire torso becomes as stable and peaceful as the baobab's massive trunk. Your hips and pelvis receive the flowing energy next, areas that often tighten from sitting too long or from the physical tension of trying to concentrate. Feel these large muscle groups releasing completely, allowing your lower body to sink deeper into the earth's supportive embrace. The golden energy flows down both legs like warm rivers, reaching every muscle that might have felt restless during the day. ADHD legs that want to bounce or pace or move to help the brain think. They now rest in complete contentment, knowing they can move freely tomorrow, but tonight they can simply be still. Finally, the energy reaches your feet, grounding you completely to the earth beneath the sacred tree. Your feet, which have carried you through another challenging day of navigating the world with an ADHD brain, now rest as peacefully as the baobab's deep roots. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes, you are completely relaxed, completely supported, completely at peace. Now that your body is deeply relaxed, Casey continues, let's engage your senses in a way that honors how your ADHD brain naturally processes the world. Instead of trying to shut out sensory input, we're going to use it to deepen your connection to this peaceful place. Begin by noticing the sounds around you. With your ADHD brain's natural ability to pick up multiple audio streams. But here in the Baobab Sanctuary, every sound is chosen to support your rest rather than demand your attention. Listen to the gentle rustle of leaves high above, not a chaotic noise, but a soft conversation between the tree and the evening breeze. Your ADHD ears might also pick up the distant call of a night bird, the whisper of grass moving in the wind, the almost inaudible sound of the tree itself, the slow creak of ancient wood, the subtle sound of sap moving through massive branches. Let your brain's natural tendency to notice multiple sounds work for you rather than against you, creating a rich tapestry of peace. Now, engage your sense of smell, which might be heightened by your ADHD neurology. Breathe in the distinctive scent of the baobab, earthy and ancient, with hints of the minerals the tree draws from deep underground. Notice how this scent doesn't overwhelm your sensitive nervous system, but instead provides a steady anchor for your wandering thoughts. Mixed with the tree's scent, you might detect the clean smell of African grass, the faint sweetness of night blooming flowers, the rich aroma of earth that has been warmed by the sun all day and now releases its stored heat into the cool night air. Let these natural fragrances wash over you like aromatherapy designed by the earth itself. Your sense of touch, often hyper-aware in ADHD brains, now receives only comfort. Feel the soft grass beneath you, each blade a tiny pillow supporting your body. The woven blankets around you provide just the right amount of weight and warmth, never too restrictive, always perfectly adjusted to your body's needs. Notice the gentle air movement against your skin, not enough to be distracting, just sufficient to keep you at the perfect temperature. Feel how the massive tree trunk behind you radiates warmth stored from the day's sun, creating a natural heating pad for your back and shoulders. Your visual sense, even with eyes closed, can appreciate the gentle patterns of light that filter through your eyelids. The soft glow of stars above creates a peaceful dimness that doesn't stimulate or disturb. Sometimes a firefly might drift past, its brief light creating a momentary pattern that your pattern-seeking ADHD brain finds deeply satisfying rather than alerting. Notice how different this sensory experience is from your daily life. Casey observes gently. Instead of competing demands on your attention, everything here works together to support your rest. This is what the world can feel like when it's designed with ADHD minds in mind. Finally, engage your sense of taste, which might carry the memory of the day's meals or medications. Let the clean night air wash away any unpleasant tastes, replacing them with the pure freshness of air that has been filtered through thousands of leaves, cleansed by its passage through the tree's natural systems. Some people report a subtle sweetness in the air around ancient baobabs, not sugar sweetness, but the deeper sweetness of life force itself, of oxygen being created, of the earth breathing through its trees. Let this natural sweetness fill your mouth and throat, cleansing away any residual stress from the day. Your ADHD brain, which usually has to work so hard to filter and organize sensory input, can now relax into receiving information that all points toward the same message. You are safe. You are supported. You are exactly where you need to be. Every sense confirms this truth, creating a unified experience of peace that your scattered thoughts can finally trust. As you rest in complete sensory harmony with the Baobab sanctuary, Cassie begins to weave together all the elements of your healing experience. Your ADHD mind has been on quite a journey tonight, they say softly. From the racing thoughts you arrived with to this deep peace you've discovered. This transformation isn't magic. It's what happens when your beautiful brain finally feels completely understood and accepted. Look back on the path that brought you here, not the physical path through the African landscape, but the emotional journey from anxiety to peace. Remember how your mind felt when you first arrived, full of the day's concerns, tomorrow's worries, the constant background hum of things you might have forgotten or should be doing differently. Notice how those same thoughts still exist, but they've been transformed by their contact with the baobab's ancient wisdom. The task you were worried about forgetting, it's been held safely in the tree's vast memory, and in the morning, you'll approach it with the calm competence that comes after true rest. The social interaction you've been replaying and analyzing, the tree's patience has wrapped around it, showing you that most human interactions are far more forgiving than your ADHD anxiety believes. This is one of the baobab's greatest gifts, Cassie explains. It doesn't erase your thoughts or change who you are. Instead, it provides perspective, the long view that comes from having witnessed centuries of human worry and joy, struggle, and triumph. From the tree's perspective, your challenges are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. Feel how this perspective begins to settle into your bones. Your ADHD brain, which often gets trapped in the intensity of the present moment, can now access the baobab's geological sense of time. The deadline that seemed so urgent becomes just one of thousands of deadlines the tree has witnessed. The mistake you made today becomes just one of countless human errors that have been forgiven and forgotten under this ancient canopy. But this doesn't diminish your experiences or make your feelings less valid. Instead, it places them in a context that allows you to respond rather than react, to choose your next steps from a place of calm wisdom rather than anxious urgency. Cassie guides you to notice how your relationship with your ADHD mind has shifted during this journey. At the beginning of tonight, you might have felt frustrated with your brain's tendency to race or worry or hyper focus on problems. Now, can you feel a growing appreciation for the very qualities that brought you here? And it's true, your ADHD brain's ability to think in connections led you to understand the metaphor of the tree holding your thoughts. Your heightened sensitivity allowed you to feel the tree's ancient energy. Your pattern seeking mind found peace in the consistent rhythms of the natural world. Your emotional depth allowed you to form a meaningful connection with Kesi and the tree itself. Your ADHD brain isn't something to be managed or cured, Kesi continues. It's something to be honored and supported. Tonight, you've experienced what that support can feel like. Not the constant effort of trying to be different than you are, but the deep rest that comes from being fully accepted as you are. Feel this acceptance settling into your cells, like the baobab's roots settling into nourishing earth. This isn't just acceptance from the tree or from Kesi, but growing self acceptance, the beginning of a kinder relationship with your own beautiful, complex mind. The stars above seem to pulse in agreement, each one representing a different way of being in the world, all equally valid, all contributing their unique light to the cosmic pattern. Your ADHD mind is one of these stars, different from others, but essential to the complete picture. As this peaceful resolution deepens, you feel your body sinking even further into rest, not the exhausted collapse that sometimes comes at the end of difficult days, but the satisfied settling that comes when something has been accomplished, something important has been understood, something healing has taken place. The baobab's presence becomes even more supportive around you, as if the tree recognizes that you've received its teachings and is now prepared to carry you into the deepest levels of restorative sleep. The ancient wood creaks gently, a sound like a satisfied sigh, acknowledging the completion of another healing. Now we enter the most sacred part of our time together, Cassie whispers, their voice becoming even softer, more ethereal, as if spoken by the tree itself. This is where your ADHD mind discovers that meditation isn't about emptying your thoughts. It's about expanding your awareness to hold everything with the same spacious calm that the baobab holds the sky. Instead of trying to focus on one single point, which can be challenging for ADHD brains, imagine your awareness expanding like the tree's canopy. Start with the small circle of space immediately around your body, the grass beneath you, the blankets covering you, the warm air touching your skin. This is the first ring of your expanding awareness. Your ADHD mind doesn't have to strain to maintain this awareness, like the tree's branches that naturally grow toward light and space. Your consciousness naturally wants to expand when it's not being forced or controlled. Let this expansion happen as gently as leaves unfurling, as naturally as the tree's growth over centuries. Now let your awareness expand to include the entire base of the baobab tree. Feel the massive trunk, the spreading roots, the other comfortable resting places created by this ancient giant. This is the second ring of your awareness, still centered in your peaceful body, but now encompassing the tree that has become your ally and protector. Notice how your ADHD brain can actually hold this larger awareness more easily than it can hold a narrow focus. This is because your brain is designed for pattern recognition, for seeing connections, for processing multiple streams of information simultaneously. Meditation for ADHD minds isn't about concentration, it's about expansion. Let your awareness grow to include the entire clearing around the tree, the native plants growing in the baobab's protection, the other trees in the distance, the pathways that wind through this sacred landscape. Feel how your consciousness can rest in this expanded state without effort, like the tree's canopy resting in the evening air. This is your natural meditative state. Casey's voice seems to come from everywhere and nowhere, perfectly integrated with the night sounds, not the narrow beam of forced attention, but the gentle floodlight of open awareness. Your ADHD brain has been trying to meditate like a flashlight when it was designed to meditate like the sun. Expand your awareness further now to include the entire African landscape, stretching beyond the Baobab sanctuary, the rolling grasslands, the distant mountains, the network of rivers and streams that feed the earth. Your consciousness doesn't strain to reach these places. It simply acknowledges them as part of the vast web of life that you're connected to. Feel how this expansion actually brings more peace, not more stimulation. This is the paradox of ADHD meditation. The wider your awareness becomes, the calmer your mind feels. You're not trying to exclude or control anything, just expanding to hold it all with the same patient acceptance that the sky holds clouds. Now let your awareness expand to include the star-filled sky above, each star representing billions of years of cosmic evolution, each one connected to every other through the vast web of gravity and light that holds the universe together. Your ADHD mind, which often feels scattered or fragmented, can now feel its true nature, not scattered at all, but expansively connected to everything. In this vast, expanded awareness, notice what happens to the thoughts that were racing when you first arrived tonight. They haven't been pushed away or suppressed. Instead, they're still there. But now they're held within such a large space of consciousness that they no longer feel overwhelming. Like a single bird flying across the enormous African sky, they're present, but not dominating the entire experience. This is the deepest secret of the Baobab. Casey's voice whispers from the vastness. It teaches us that we are not separate from the world around us. Our ADHD minds, which often feel isolated or different, are actually more connected to the whole than minds that filter out most of reality. We feel everything because we are everything. Feel this truth settling into your expanded consciousness. You are not a person with a problematic brain trying to find peace. You are consciousness itself, temporarily focused through an ADHD nervous system, exploring what it's like to experience reality through heightened sensitivity and expanded awareness. From this cosmic perspective, all the challenges of living with ADHD become just weather patterns in the vast sky of consciousness, sometimes stormy, sometimes calm, but always temporary, always held within something infinitely larger and more peaceful. Let your awareness rest in this cosmic expansion for as long as feels natural. There's no goal to achieve, no state to maintain, no way to do this wrong. You are simply being what you've always been. Infinite awareness, temporarily pretending to be a person with ADHD, and now remembering your true vast nature. The baobab stands as a bridge between earth and sky, its roots deep in matter, its branches reaching toward spirit. Like you, it exists in both realms, grounded in the practical world, but connected to something limitless and eternal. As your cosmic meditation naturally begins to focus back toward your peaceful body beneath the baobab tree, Kisi's presence returns to guide you gently back to the sacred grove. You've touched the infinite tonight, they say softly. But now it's time to bring that vastness back into your beautiful human form, ready for the most restorative sleep your ADHD brain has ever experienced. Feel your expanded awareness gently contracting, not losing the cosmic connection you've discovered, but focusing it like sunlight through a lens into the specific blessing of your resting body. You are still connected to the stars, the earth, the vast web of existence, but now that connection is concentrated into the gift of deep, healing rest. Your body beneath the ancient tree feels different now than when you first arrived. It's not just relaxed, it's integrated. Every cell remembers the cosmic meditation. Every muscle holds the memory of that vast peace. Your ADHD nervous system, which often feels overstimulated or fragmented, now thrums with the coherent energy of someone who knows their true nature. The baobab's presence around you feels even more supportive, as if the tree recognizes that you've received its deepest teaching and is now prepared to guard your sleep like a gentle giant watching over a beloved child. The massive trunk behind you radiates not just warmth, but protection. The canopy above you spreads not just shade, but blessing. Cassie settles near you one final time, their energy now perfectly harmonized with yours after the journey you've shared. Tomorrow, when you wake, they say, you'll still have an ADHD brain. You'll still think quickly and feel deeply and notice things others miss. But you'll also carry with you the memory of tonight, the memory of how peaceful your mind can be when it's truly understood and accepted. Feel this promise settling into your bones, into your neural pathways, into the very structure of your brain. You're not just falling asleep tonight, you're reprogramming your nervous system's understanding of what rest can feel like for a mind like yours. The sounds of the African night create a perfect lullaby around you. Every cricket's chirp, every whisper of wind through grass, every distant night bird's call is perfectly timed to support your descent into sleep. Your ADHD brain, which usually has to work so hard to filter out distracting sounds, now receives only sounds that deepen your peace. Your breathing has naturally synchronized with the tree's own rhythm, the slow, deep pulse of something ancient and completely at peace with its place in the world. Each breath you take draws in more of the baobab's calm wisdom. Each breath you release lets go of more of the day's accumulated stress and worry. Feel yourself beginning to drift at the edges of sleep, but not fighting it or grasping for it. Sleep comes naturally when your nervous system finally feels safe enough to let go of its vigilant watching. Tonight, the baobab is doing the watching for you, standing guard over your rest with the patience of centuries. Your ADHD mind, which often resists sleep because it's still processing the day or anticipating tomorrow, now releases into sleep like a child releases into a parent's arms, completely trusting, completely supported, completely loved. The last thing you're aware of is the gentle presence of the ancient tree and Cassie's final whispered blessing. Sleep now, beautiful mind. Dream the dreams that only ADHD hearts can dream. Rest in the knowledge that you are perfect exactly as you are, and wake tomorrow with the strength that comes from truly knowing your own worth. The baobab holds you safely as you slip into the deepest, most restorative sleep you've ever known. As you drift in the space between waking and sleep, held safely by the ancient baobab's loving presence, let these truths settle into your unconscious mind like seeds planted in fertile earth. My ADHD brain is not broken. It is beautifully different, like the baobab tree that grows unlike any other tree. I grow unlike any other person, and this makes me valuable, not problematic. I release all pressure to focus like others focus, to rest like others rest, to be like others are. I honor my unique rhythms and trust that my mind knows how to find peace in its own perfect way. My racing thoughts are not my enemy. They are creative energy that will transform into wisdom while I sleep. The baobab tree holds them safely, and I trust this ancient protection. I forgive myself for everything I forgot today, everything I misplaced, every moment when my ADHD made life more challenging. These are not failures. They are simply the price I pay for having a mind that notices and processes more than most. My sensitivity is a superpower, not a weakness. I feel the world deeply because I am designed to care deeply, to create deeply, to love deeply. This depth is a gift I give to the world. I trust my body to rest even when my mind wants to be active. My nervous system knows how to find peace when I stop forcing it and start supporting it with understanding and patience. Tomorrow, I will wake refreshed and remember that I am connected to something larger than my daily challenges. The cosmic awareness I touched tonight lives within me always, available whenever I need perspective and peace. My ADHD traits that the world sometimes calls problems, my distractibility, my hyperfocus, my emotional intensity, my different way of processing time. These are features, not bugs. They are how my consciousness expresses its unique beauty. I am worthy of rest, worthy of peace, worthy of love exactly as I am. I do not need to earn acceptance by becoming different. I am already enough, already whole, already perfect in my beautiful imperfection. My dreams tonight will be filled with the wisdom of the baobab tree, the vast peace of the African sky, and the deep knowing that I belong in this world exactly as I am. When I wake tomorrow, I will carry with me the memory of this perfect rest, and I will know that peace is always available to me when I remember to work with my mind rather than against it. I am held by love, supported by wisdom, connected to the infinite, and blessed with an ADHD brain that sees the world in ways that make it more beautiful. Like the baobab tree that stands strong through all seasons, I am stronger than any challenge my ADHD might bring. I am rooted in self acceptance and reaching toward my highest potential. I sleep now in perfect peace, perfect safety, perfect love. My ADHD mind rests in the knowledge that it is exactly what the world needs it to be. Sleep comes easily now, naturally now, gratefully now. I am at peace.